Creality Otter, a three-dimensional scanner capable of turning any physical object into a digital 3D model. Well, that is a really cool and quite vague statement, but how good is it actually? I mean, what is the accuracy of this device? Is it suitable for 3D printing purposes? Does it work with car parts or metal objects, and is it worth its price? I'm about to test all of that in today's video, so let's open the box and answer those questions ourselves. Now, I want to keep this review as objective as possible. The Creality team did send me the scanner so I could test it out, and that's why I don't want to simply give you my personal opinion. Instead, I will show you the results so you can make up your own mind about whether this device meets your expectations or not. First, let's talk about a few alleged features of the scanner provided by the manufacturers, and later in the video we will put every single one to the test. From what I've been told, the creators are very proud of their anti-shaking technology, which helps out with unstable hands. The scanner is also supposed to handle shiny metallic surfaces, which are usually a burden for laser-based sensors. But what seems to be the most important is the high accuracy, catching the details as tiny as 0.02 mm, which, if true, is really tiny. Then we got large range of sizes. The device is meant to scan objects as small as 10 cubic millimeters and as big as 2 cubic meters. Another features are quick scanning speed, reaching up to 20 fps, and full color texturing thanks to built-in 2 megapixels camera. Now, when we know the expectations, let's see if the Creality Otter actually fulfills them. First thing we encounter with any technical device is the casing, and it's usually a pretty strong indicator of the quality of product itself. What's cool is that Otter comes with a handy case that contains the scanner and many useful accessories. Of course, you don't buy it for the box, but I always appreciate when manufacturers include a proper casing, it's just a nice touch. Inside you will find two separate sections. One of them holds the scanner, cables and test module to help you practice. All the delicate parts are well fitted into the soft cushioning, so you can safely take it to work in the field without shaking or damaging the equipment. The scanner itself fits easily in my hand and the design is quite futuristic. It weighs around 400 grams or almost a pound. The lightness of the device is an important factor, because you will carry it around a lot, especially while scanning large objects outdoors. On the base, there's a rubber pin hiding a tripod thread, which is very useful, especially for scanning small and medium-sized objects. I was able to use it with a simple selfie stick, and it was very convenient to have both hands free to adjust the scanned object. The nature of 3D scanning process requires mobility, and mobility does not quite match with cables. Luckily, the Creality Otter has its power cord equipped with a safety screw that holds the plug in place and can be easily handled with just your fingers. The case comes with useful extras like a wristband and shoulder strap to carry the whole set like a bag. There's also a calibration board and black base pad to keep the scanned object separate from its surroundings. A great addition is a full set of markers. Those little dots are actually stickers which you can use on any physical object to increase scanner's accuracy. Unexpected, but very welcome addition from the creators. There's also some additional plugs, microfiber cloth and manuals provided. Overall, the set is well equipped and leaves impression of quality product. I give it a solid 5 out of 5. Oh, and remember to remove the protective film from the lens. I'm only telling because I forgot before using it the first time. To operate the scanner, I had to download a dedicated software. To start a new project, we must specify its characteristics, such as size or preferred accuracy. It's very simple and intuitive, all the features are pretty much self-explanatory. During the scanning process, the device constantly informs you if it's at the optimal distance from the object. Then, after completing the scan, you can manually control the post-processing or choose an automatic preset. It's also the right time to get rid of all of the errors. We always start with a raw data, then convert it to a point cloud, and finally into a 3D mesh. Between every step, you have full control over the accuracy, number of faces, and other features, which can increase the quality of final model, but also the size of files. At the very end, you get to texture the model with its real-life colors. Export the results to OBJ or STL file, and that's the whole process. So, let's do it again. The next testing object is this figurine that I've 3D printed some time ago. The statue is around 10 cm tall, and it's a great subject for two reasons. First, there's plenty of tiny organic details like fabric creases, but it also has a lot of imperfections. My 3D printer is quite old and not very accurate anymore. But ironically, all those missing layer lines and jagged support leftovers will make for a perfect test of the scanner's accuracy. The height of a single layer is 0.16 mm, so if the Otter catches those imperfections, we'll be able to tell that it's a pretty accurate scanner. We will also check how useful is the black base pad, which came with the case. This is the live view from Creality Scan software, and my first observation is that the base mat is doing wonders. It is completely invisible to the scanner, and so the object is fully separated from the surroundings. As far as I can tell, it has to do with the material's color and glossiness. You see, the general rule of thumb is that scanners prefer brighter colors and less reflective materials. Dark, reflective and transparent objects are the most problematic, and in such cases, you may need to use scanning spray or simply put some chalk or talcum powder over the surface. Back to our test model. I'm not using the tripod here, and my hands are shaking a lot during this test, and yet the software keeps up with it. I think it's safe to say that lack of stabilization is, in fact, not an issue with this device, so that's a fair point for Creality. While scanning small objects, like this one, I like to put the scanner in one place and just rotate the pad with the object on it. And in such cases, using tripod would be the most convenient. Okay, I think I got all the angles here. I could pause the scan and put the model on its side to scan the bottom, but if the base is missing, then the software is just gonna create a flat surface to fill it up. And it's totally fine with me in this case. I can now complete the scan, and here is the raw data. Thanks to the base pad, it's completely separated from the table, so I can just easily select and delete those points before further processing. Here is a point cloud, looking good so far. Let's give it some more faces, and here's the final mesh. First of all, take a look at the bottom. Like I said, the software filled the missing data with a flat surface, that's why I didn't bother to scan that part. Now let's examine the details. I can already tell the fabric creases, hair nuances and all those funny artifacts are clear as day. That's cool. Now let's raise the bar a little. I want you to focus on those imperfections my 3D printer is responsible for. Those marks are 0.16 mm tall, and I know this because that's the setting for almost all of my prints. And obviously, we can spot them on both shoulders and also in the center. They're so small, I'm not even sure my camera would catch them, but the Otter actually did. And this is the first time in my career I'm actually happy to see errors on a 3D print. And if that is not impressive to you, my dear audience, let me zoom in a little so you can actually see the minute separated horizontal lines. Those are single layers of plastic melted together, almost indistinguishable geometrically. If those lines can be captured by the scanner, then honestly, I don't have anything else to throw at it. The accuracy test? Passed with flying colors. Time for the next challenge, the scale comparison. This little devil is only 2 cm tall and it's loaded with weird geometry. There is both organic and hard surface elements, so it's gonna be a quite versatile test. And indeed, there was a bit of struggle here. The organic parts were analyzed with no effort at all, but on the flat surface... Well, here's the kicker. Surprisingly, it is not the detail-packed objects that may cause problems, but the simple plain shapes. The lack of details make it harder to track the item and understand its geometry. In such cases, always use trackers to boost the scanner's efficiency. The rest of the process went smoothly. I even paused the scan to rotate the object to its other side, and the software followed right through. The final result was great. The protrusive pins, the hollow points, it was all in place. I didn't catch this one corner here, but instead of repeating the process, I simply imported the model into Blender and fixed the issue in less than a minute. That's an important conclusion here. If you are a total beginner in 3D design, you can absolutely have a lot of fun with the scanner. But if you know a thing or two about modeling, then this device will make you feel powerful. To scan anything, adjust it to your needs, and then 3D print it, that's straight out of science fiction movies. Oh, one more thing. I ended up 3D printing this part, and turns out the generated results are already fixed to a proper scale. That's right, you don't need to dwell on the measurements. Send it to your printer and you can have a perfect copy of anything. Now let's scan something bigger and much cooler. This is a restored V8 engine from BMW E92 M3. It's big, shiny, detailed, and to say the least, it's a great challenge for our scanner. Despite the amount of details, it only took about 5 minutes to collect the geometry data. The Otter does work with the efficient speed, so it's another thing to check off our list of expectations. After running it through the software, the amount of details is jaw-dropping. Seriously, even the hoops are accurate inside out. I was concerned about all the reflective surfaces that tend to be difficult. But it wasn't a problem at all. Despite the size, the metallic finish, and only few minutes to gather the data, the engine came out perfectly, proving that the Otter is a suitable choice for scanning car parts. Now it's ready to become a game asset, or maybe get 3D printed as a gift to a friendly petrolhead. The only thing I would like to have improved is the full color feature. It's great for texturing objects with just one click, but the quality isn't high enough to use it for rendering scenes. It could probably work for a background object if I were to use it for any kind of visualization. Here are a few more examples, so you can form your own opinion on that matter. Overall, I find this device to be very useful. It's easy to work with, does an excellent job of capturing geometry, and opens up a ton of possibilities for creative minds. Even complete beginners will have plenty of fun using the Otter, and more experienced 3D modelers should definitely love it. With all that said, I'm really happy with this scanner and I'm absolutely going to use it for future projects. Let me know your thoughts on the video and what would you like to see me do next with this device. Thanks!